Hey everyone, this is Rob.
Hey, Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school RuneScape. Alright, so this week up on the docket, of course, as always, we're going to be starting off by telling you what we've been up to this week. Any videos and stuff like that we might have come out with as well. And then we'll be going right into the massive update.
So massive.
Yeah, very large.
Unbelievable. This might be a 3-part episode.
7-part potentially, but yeah. So going to be a little bit of an update.
By the way,
a little bit of an update on these server issues. Obviously, if you've been playing at all last week, you know about them, and then obviously the regular update, which is
they go over the new quality of life blog, which is kind of cool.
It's a very, very small update this week.
Yeah,
it was kind of laughable. I think it was really only like a paragraph, right?
No,
besides the speedrunning stuff, it was like a paragraph.
Actually, I didn't even realize that there was a real update. I thought it was all just a blog.
Yeah. But thank goodness we actually ended up waiting. It's Thursday today. Mm-hmm. Usually we record half of it on Wednesday and then half on Thursday.
This was not out yesterday.
Yeah, there was so little stuff. I was like, oh, surely we'll be able to do it all in one day.
Surely.
Because it was definitely going to be a shorter episode. But I guess
it's still gonna low-key be shorter because there's not that much, but
good and
stuff.
Good and bad is there's actually a ton of stuff to go over because the poll just came out.
The quality of life poll.
The quality of life poll.
I really thought you were gonna say the update, and I was like, you literally just said there's nothing.
No, poll 79 came out, so we are gonna be covering that, and there is a ton to go over. Some stuff that I am really excited about, and then stuff that I am just not excited about.
I'm excited about most of it.
And of course, we'll be ending off with our Q&A as per usual. Of course, if you want to get in on that and give us any questions that we can answer, they can be anything from real life questions to other video game questions. It doesn't just have to be about RuneScape. You can let us know anywhere that you can find us, or specifically on Discord would probably be the best. We have a questions channel. Mm-hmm. But before we get into any of that, Michelle, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for asking. This week, I've just been doing some more raids per usual, but I haven't been getting that many purples.
Yeah, like none.
Yeah, so I got a ward split that some of the people in the raid just straight up didn't want it, so I got 2.5 mil.
Nice.
Not in my name, though. But in my name, weirdly, I did actually get my dupe pet at TOA.
Yeah, you
I got a second one. It was so weird. I've never gotten a second pet before.
Do you think they should give you like a GP monetary reward for getting a second pet?
No, because now I think that they should do what I've said before on the podcast, where I have an extra pet in my house.
Oh.
If I get all the dupes, I would love to have every one of the little bosses just metamorphosize in my house.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be so cool.
But also, I think they actually do give you a monetary reward because I think each time you get a dupe pet, you get a free recover of a pet.
So the thing is, my pet was already dead.
I know yours. Yeah, your pet was already dead.
So I was really confused because I didn't get the message saying you have a feeling you would have been followed. I just had a funny feeling I was being followed because I had died and I'd been too lazy to go reclaim it. So it just gave me my pet back.
Yeah, I think they changed it so normally now, Probita, she gives you an additional reclaim for free if
something
you get
like
another
that,
pet.
Probably.
But obviously, since you didn't have it, she just gave it to you. So, which I guess is also a free reclaim.
I'd rather just have more hanging out in my house.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that happened on my 135th expert. So 60 after my other pet, which is
pretty easy.
I feel bad for people who aren't getting pets because I'm getting lucky.
Honestly, it's a pretty easy pet, apparently.
I mean, you'd think so, but there are a few people going dry on it in the chat.
No, it's the easiest pet in the game.
I agree. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was, cool, kind of funny, but also, a little, dang, could have taken another unique instead, but okay, sure.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get an actual purple.
Yeah, true. Could have gotten something for the collection log or something with a lot of money, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just been doing TOA all week. Mostly, I've started doing on stream, 300s with the chat at the beginning of the stream, and then I try to go to, 400s with people who can, low-key help me, because I just need to keep practicing 400s.
Yeah.
But I also did some skilling this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I got to 89 mining, and the reason I wanted to use 89 was I could boost
you were
to
copying
amethyst.
me.
What? Are you 89?
No, I was mining.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm copying you. I wanted to mine amethyst. I didn't realize how long it takes to mine amethyst, so I get like one amethyst the entire boost.
It is
so,
a long time. It is known as the AFK method.
Yeah, kind of maybe just gonna try and get to 90 or 90, maybe 92.
Yeah, maybe just don't boost.
Yeah, it sucks because I really want to do like shooting stars, but every time I log in, there's no waves. So, or like the wave had just ended.
Yeah,
so if you guys don't know, shooting stars fall every 2 hours in waves.
We're just talking about this, how shooting stars should be a constant thing.
Yeah, like maybe every 10 minutes there's shooting stars.
Yeah, like they should always be in existence. Like you shouldn't just be able to like, oh, we mined them all and then we'll just wait.
Yeah, I mean technically there are probably some hidden, but if nobody like searched for them before, like looked at telescope,
yeah,
it could be literally any spot.
Or, they should also do is like maybe after 5 minutes of them having fallen, because by that time most people are mining them, like 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. Maybe there's like another item you can make and put in your house called like a star chart or something, and it'll have like where they've landed, so then
that'd be smart.
You would know where they are.
Yeah, because I have a plugin, but people who don't have the plugin or don't use the CC, I've heard, I think Shazzle literally just writes down notes in real life.
Yeah.
You kind of have to do it. It doesn't keep track.
No, like, sane person that does this for a long period of time is going to just, like, wander around through multiple, worlds in multiple areas looking for, these stars. Like, they're just gonna either use the add-on or not do it.
I like the star chart idea. I should tweet them about that. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I mean,
somewhere to keep track of it at least, because then you don't have to
at least
the
first 5 to 10 minutes, the people that like are proactive about finding them and using the telescope, it would obviously reward them to be there. But if like they're just sitting there and no one knows that the star's there, then it would be nice. Weird. Yeah, it'd be nice to actually be able to do the skilling method that exists in the game.
Yeah, because I love shooting stars. I've been doing MLM instead, and I do not like MLM.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's other people like me, like the RNG nature of shooting stars and just like having to figure out where they are makes me not want to do it. Like, I've never done it because I don't want to go out and like find them or whatever.
I would recommend anyone who wants to get into it but is like lazy like Robert and doesn't want to look around, I would recommend doing the Fossil Island area or the Western Province area, because each of those only have 3 locations.
Yeah.
And for the Western Province, because that's like Gnome Stronghold, 2 of them are inside of the Gnome Stronghold. And the other one is exactly where the banner takes you when it tellies you.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I was doing MLM, which is like bleh, but at the same time not as bad because the update.
Yeah.
There's a lot more veins now.
Yeah, spoiler alert, the only thing I've done this week is mine, but we've both now experienced the new MLM. And
I don't have upstairs unlocked though. I experienced downstairs.
I thought it was great.
I agree. Yeah. There's way more everywhere. I went to go run to my usual area, which is like kind of far away from like what's it even called? Like the machine that you put it in?
Like the hopper.
Yeah, the hopper. And I went to go run to my usual area, and I looked aside, and I was like, oh, there's like 20 more veins here. What the heck?
Yeah, so for anyone wondering, if you're like facing the original shortcut, then directly to your right of wherever the like little washing station is, they've added a whole section.
A whole wall of them.
A whole entire wall of mining that didn't used to be there. It is actually, if I had to guess, the closest you could get to the washing station while being on the bottom floor, so it's probably the new best spot.
Oh yeah, no, I was having to hop around because everyone was there.
And on top of that, they added a 54 agility shortcut to get to the other side of that wall.
You know what's funny? Because I saw that and I was like, oh, cool. So then I don't have to like break the rock fall anymore. You do the shortcut and you're trapped on one tile because there's a rock fall that you have to break.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever.
This is also something I brought to Michelle. I think the rock falls make sense for the bottom floor because obviously the bottom floor is like for lower level people, probably bots. No, definitely bots. I've seen bots
more
there.
botted.
But I think for the top floor, by that time, you've already unlocked, the 100, or you spent the 100 tickets to unlock the top area.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's still rock falls up there.
No, I agree. It's kind of stupid.
Because like
it's supposed to be for botting, but it's like at a certain point.
It's for botting, but
when does it get in the way of quality of life?
You're already up there. And because of the recent changes that make it so that the cooldown is even lower for for the veins refreshing, no one leaves the first like 10 veins.
Yeah.
Like if you ever see anyone over in like the random corners, they're probably botting. Like I
Yeah.
don't know
Or
why
they're
you would
really
be over there.
antisocial.
Yeah, because you are like putting yourself at a severe disadvantage.
Yeah.
Like
I did that on a different account. I remember trying out the top level of MLM, and I just went away from everyone because I didn't want to be in anyone's way.
yeah, but like now it's easy. Like I was telling Michelle, sometimes if you're up there by yourself, you can mine one node, go to the next node, and by the time the second one's done, the original has refreshed.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
So much
obviously
easier.
you're not there by yourself that often, but if you are, it is really tough to go past 3 different nodes without the first one being refreshed.
That's huge.
Yeah. Even with people there, I didn't go past like 5 nodes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really really easy.
Ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might actually unlock the upstairs. I know I said I never was going to, but now I just, whenever the shooting stars aren't available, I need something to do to get me closer and closer to Amethyst.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really cheap. Like, it's 100 nuggets, which seems like a lot.
I mean, I got 60 just yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I AFK'd one day and got like 90.
Yeah.
So, you get them pretty fast after lower levels. Lower levels, it sucks because it's like, oh, I went from, 50 to 60 mining and I only got like 15. Which seems like it sucks, but it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, when you're low level, MLM is brutal.
Yeah, and
also,
like
my alpha took me years.
It's nice for Iron Man because you actually can trade in the nuggets for gem bags, which is good for crafting.
Did you know? I think that the gym bags are more valuable if you get them from shooting stars.
Oh well, I mean, I have to do shooting stars to get them.
No, I know. I'm just letting everyone know. You get way more over time because it's kind of slow.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So been doing mining, and I also today randomly before the podcast I got 2 more levels up, so I got 91 herb lore and 91 crafting.
Nice.
Yeah, I just looked at my bank and saw I had a lot of stuff to make brews because I just keep all my
yeah.
I've been keeping all my herbs and bird nests now. I'm good at talk.
Yes.
I'm killing it. I've been keeping all those, so I just went and made a bunch of pots, and then I bought a bunch of dehyde to make a bunch of dehyde.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just 2 things I had that were semi close to leveling, and I was like, I want to get levels so I could say I got levels in the podcast.
It's funny how you play like inefficiently, like you enjoy that, like you like playing like an Iron Man. Most mains
How's that
don't.
inefficient though?
Because most mains don't do that. Why would you wait until you have the herbs to do stuff? Usually
Oh,
you just
because I don't like grinding skills
you
a
just
lot.
buy the best herbs, get a level, and then it'd be faster.
I did that before. I get lazy before I level up completely.
Okay.
I didn't even use everything.
Yeah.
I just used like half of it and I was like, all right, I don't feel it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's funny that you play like an Iron Man when
Just for that only.
most people play mains because it's more convenient than an Iron Man.
It's because I do birdhouse runs every day, and I just happen to have a lot of toad flax because that's what I plant at the farming guild.
Yeah.
My like random herbs I leave there. So I happen to have the ingredients already. I'm like, might as well. I would just sell and rebuy it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So that works. Other than that, real life, I'm trying to get a part-time job actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So we discussed it and thought about how much it would cost for us to move to the Netherlands, and it's a lot. So I got a part-time job.
Yeah, huge.
Or I didn't get a part-time job, but I'm looking around. And yeah, I'm kind of nervous about that, but I'm literally just looking at like 20 hours or less a week, so should be fine to still stream.
Okay.
I just like to update people.
I think that's the end of the updates.
Robert hates when I share updates with everyone.
I think that's the end of the updates.
He doesn't like my joy.
I went to Motherload Mine for a little bit. I got 2 levels.
Wait, I didn't even ask you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Cool.
But yeah, so I was at Motherload Mine. Yeah, I was there from, I think, 75 to 77. It was pretty okay. Not too bad. It's just on the Iron Man. And I got
77? Now you could mine blood runes.
Oh, yeah, I could. I got, it's funny you mentioned that. That's actually something we're going to be talking about.
Oh.
But I got, I think,
mining
like
blood runes.
3,400 things mined or something like that.
Nice.
But, yeah, that's about it.
They're going to make 3,400 mining XP. I was like, that's really not a lot.
No, definitely
How'd
more
you even
than
level?
that. Yeah, but that's it. Honestly, not too much happening.
Yeah, but we can move on to a little bit of the updates. So first, talking about the server issues.
Yes,
So,
many server issues.
Everyone probably has been noticing that there's been server issues lately, and unfortunately, it is still ongoing, their investigations. So the last that they said was on Tuesday, March 21st, was that they were taking some worlds offline for a little bit. They said, we're continuing to investigate reports of connectivity issues impacting some game worlds. We'd advise avoiding dangerous activity till we're able to update you further. Reports from players suggest that primarily U.S. worlds are impacted, so you may experience fewer issues by playing on other regions' worlds.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know really why. I mean, I guess for posterity's sake, they had to initiate like this kind of a post, but people that have already like complained enough is because they've died. So like most people already know about this and will not be doing hard content, but yeah.
And I wonder how many Irons lost their lives to stuff like this.
A lot.
It's been real
certain
bad.
of it. Yeah, there's been really really bad downtimes. There's plenty of people that have posted about them dying at like the most inconvenient time.
I thought it was really funny on Discord. People were talking about it, and I like even shared this post that same day. And I remember going, and I was just like skilling at the bank, and it was like connection loss, and took like 5 minutes to reconnect. And I was like shocked and surprised that the issues were real.
Yeah. So
right after linking an article about it.
It mainly is U.S. worlds, but one thing that is nice is it does seem like they are slowly trying to restore some people's problems, because people have had issues where if you're disconnecting while putting stuff in the bank, sometimes those items will just disappear.
Oh my god.
Especially if you're a GIM, they'll just disappear from your GIM storage. And then yeah, people were like kind of, sad or upset about that, but it seems like they've slowly been restoring those items and they're just back in people's inventories.
That's good.
So it's nice that it seems like they're trying to fix things, and obviously this isn't technically their problem. People have been like, what's it called? People have been like, showing that there's been server issues on a bunch of different fronts. So I'm guessing they use AWS, right? Like everyone uses AWS, but
oh, you know what that means?
Amazon Web Services.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they use that. So it's probably just their hosting companies having problems, but so it's like it's hard to blame them, but also it's easy to blame them because they could just buy a better backup infrastructure. But
true.
Yeah, they don't
but
have
will
that.
they?
No, certainly
they will not.
Yeah, so it's just something that we deal with from time to time, it seems, but unfortunate that people have like lost a lot of stuff actually.
Yeah, and lost their hardcore status too.
Yeah, a lot of people have lost their hardcore status.
That's very frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that it seems like they're going to be adding a potential fix for that in the update poll that we're going to be going over. But,
it's not perfect though.
It's certainly not perfect, but it's better than nothing and something people have suggested many, many times in the past.
But we still have to go over the update before we get to that.
Yeah, but just wanted to get that out of the way. Everyone knows, obviously, there's stuff going on, and it is still going on even now.
It's always going on.
It is not fixed, so just don't do any unsafe content. Even
if you're hardcore.
If you're hardcore. Even if you're not hardcore, it is kind of annoying to die for no reason.
True, but...
yeah. So that's it. We can move on to the actual update this time around, which is not very big.
So this is going to be the Quest Speedrunning's final batch. Attention Speedy Scapers, the final batch of Quest Speedrunning updates is here. This week's update is smaller than most, so we want to take a moment to let you know that the team are working away behind the scenes. Next week, you'll be able to get your hands on some upcoming Bounty Hunter rewards and beta worlds. When the Bounty Hunter reward beta wraps up, you'll get the chance to experiment with some Desert Treasure 2 Fallen Empire rewards and another beta. And if you're not feeling beta,
wow,
they've already
awful.
made this joke so many times.
Yeah, that's awful.
After reading that, perhaps the promise of 3 new skill pitches in the very near future is something to look forward to.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll kind of be nice checking out the rewards, but also I kind of couldn't care less.
Probably won't actually use them.
No.
I mean, you might because you're a GIM, but I'll just be using my regular stuff.
What, the Desert Treasure stuff?
Yeah.
That's new BIS stuff. Why would you not use it?
Oh, it is new best in slot, huh?
Yeah.
I forgot they changed it to
You're
that.
like, oh, it's just all the new best in slot rings. I'm not going to use those.
That reminds me, I forgot to say I bought a scythe this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wraith, one of our mods, pointed out that it's probably not going to get any cheaper. Might as well get it for like Chambers challenge mode and like learning Top eventually. I mean, if I sell it back, I probably won't lose money.
Yeah, that Chambers went really well, right?
I did a challenge mode. We made time.
Yeah.
We actually
what about
made
the first
time.
one, though?
What happened to the first one? Did I black? Oh my god, Tecton is a nightmare.
Yeah.
A brick wall, some would say.
They got farmed by Tecton.
No. Nothing even... it was like a stalemate. He was just standing there, invincible. None of our Warhammer specs hit. It was so annoying. We just left. I think we had to try like 3 times. Anyway, so the quest speedrunning final batch. Dragon Slayer 2 and Black Knight's Fortress are now out of beta and ready for you on Quest Speedrunning Worlds. This will be the last of the promised Quest speedrunning updates, but don't worry, we'll still be adding more in the future.
So they'll never be doing more Quest speedrunning again.
This is just at less regular intervals, and I do wonder, is that like once a year?
I am almost certain it'll be almost never again.
It sucks because I really want that outfit, but I want more easy quest added. Like, what am I supposed to do, DS2? Absolutely not.
Black Knight's Fortress is pretty easy.
No, I'm going to do that, but I need like 700 more points.
Didn't you spend your points at the beginning?
So the thing is...
Wow.
I thought it was like you have to buy all versions of the outfit, then you upgrade them.
No,
and that's not true.
I told you that.
So I bought tier 1 and just wasted points on that.
Yeah.
And now I can't afford tier 3. And I need to ask if they'll ever make it so you could resell that back, because that sucks. Anyway, Quest Speedrunning Worlds allow you to replay some of old school's most iconic quests with the aim of completing them as quickly as possible. You've given stats and any items required for each quest, and will earn points depending on how quickly you finish. As you might expect, faster times, such as platinum-worthy times, reward more points, which can be exchanged for main-game cosmetics such as the Adventurer's Outfit or Speedy Teleport Scroll. Just hit up Eliza in Varrock Square to claim your best fashion escape. But you can't return it.
Yeah.
No refunds.
They also, so they added a couple Black Knight's Fortress as well as DS2.
Yeah, so some of the times are... I didn't realize that there's diamond times.
They just added that. You're about to read about it.
Oh, okay. Let me read diamond first. So they say, as an extra twist, we've had diamond times to all current quests available on OS Worlds. These don't offer any additional points, but achieving all the diamond times on every available quest will snag you an exclusive diamond trophy for your main account. It actually looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks like a the typical trophies in game, but it is actually quest themed.
Yeah, and it has some like on the corners of it looks like diamonds.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of the times, like Black Knight's Fortress, the platinum is 5:30, the diamond is 5 minutes. For DS2, platinum is 80 minutes, diamond is 70 minutes.
Very fast.
Awful. Awful. So going back to the trophy, this item can be equipped, so you can really flex how fast of a spacebar speedster you truly are. In the manner of Quest Cape, Music Cape, and other similar items, when new content is released, you'll need to achieve any new diamond times in order to equip them. So good luck. Finally, we've introduced some techniques to prevent players getting head start in speedruns by performing actions before the quest begins. Namely, ashes and hunter traps can no longer be obtained by lighting a fire or placing a hunter trap before starting your run, meaning you'll have to route them into your run instead. It's kind of crazy that was possible before.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy if you think about it. Just like light a fire, lay down a trap, start the quest, and then by the time...
No, I mean, it's kind of crazy that they didn't notice that before.
It
took a few months.
I guess that's a fairly advanced strategy.
Yeah.
They have a few other changes in addition to that as well, and this is having to do with desert protection. So they actually updated the desert protections from quite a few items. So they made it so that the circlet of water is now twice as good. All of these slave items, including the shirt, robe, and boots, now give you protection. Before they didn't. It seems like almost all of these items, except for the desert top and the circlet of water, didn't give you any protection before.
Yeah.
But now they all do, or have been doubled in their effectiveness, including all of the Menophyte gear that's purple, the Menophyte gear that's red.
Most importantly, the fez.
The fez, the robe of Elidness, as well as the Caridian headpiece, which is nice for all the people doing their...
That's a quest, right?
No, I think that's for the Caridian headpiece. Isn't that when people do like clue scrolls and stuff like that? Don't they wear that?
No, that's Kandarin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
The Desert Disguise is another one that now is protection. An extra 12 seconds of protection. I'd love to see people just running around their little disguises.
Yeah, either way, all of these now have a significant amount of protection. So if you wore an entire outfit, it looks like you could easily get over a minute of protection, which is quite a lot, you know? I mean, that's a lot more than before. So.
Yeah, if you're familiar at all with that, you start dying of thirst in the desert message. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
They put it very dramatically.
So now you could bring one, one water skin and last out in the desert for quite a while, at least a few minutes, if you have the full.
For several days.
Several years. Or you can just get the Desert Elite unlocked and just never have to worry about it.
Took so long, though.
Yeah. Two options have been added to the settings menu chat section, allowing players to have permanently banned and permanently muted accounts removed from their ignore list, which is nice.
I'd like to see if I have anyone of mine that's permanently banned or permanently muted.
It is a pretty good chance. I mean, a lot of people on mine are like bots and stuff like that, which, I mean, while
people that probably got hacked years ago.
While it does take kind of like forever for them to get banned, eventually they do. So it'd be nice to, clear that up, because for some reason there is a limit for how many people you can ignore. So
I hate that.
It'll be nice to free up some space.
It's so weird. I'm like, people in this game can be really awful.
Yeah. Also, the option for removing banned accounts is enabled by default, whereas the option for removing muted accounts is disabled by default.
Could just be you were getting annoyed at your friend that day.
Yeah, maybe. The check runs quietly once per day rather than checking continually, so as to avoid excessive load on the chat system. So if they get banned and then it hasn't updated, then maybe the next day it'll update. Mm-hmm. And also there are a few smaller changes, making it so that party leaders in TOA can now promote their members of the party while the group is forming in the lobby.
This is actually kind of a really big thing. So it's a very nice quality of life thing. So if you didn't know, there's a popular thing to do at Kefri called melee trapping, and it goes by the order of who joined the raid. So it's always the leader and then the second person who joined. They are the ones that get dung thrown at them first. So you stand specific spots to try to trap the meleeer. And if you accidentally have like a learner and they happen to be the second person to join, like you just like ruin that. So something that people would always have to do is be like, oh, leave the party and then rejoin so someone else could get boosted up. This makes it a lot better.
Nice. So they just added a basic party functionality that every game has.
Yeah. And I found that out before even reading the notes. I tried it and I was like, oh, what? When did it do this?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. At least they added it. Mm-hmm. They also made it so bonds cannot be used in the last 3 minutes of a server reboot. I'm guessing
probably they wouldn't work.
Issues there. They made it easier to cannon brown bears, rogues, and bandits in the wilderness. They also made it so that damage in the winter tot will now visibly interrupt fletching. So it'll be easier to tell.
Sometimes you really don't know.
No, for anyone that is not an expert in winter tot, I guess maybe this will help if you don't if you like listening to things or watching things while doing it. But if you just turn on your sound effects, it makes a sound every time you get hit.
Yeah, I sometimes didn't know. And but it's really slow when it fletches anyway. So there's been times where I thought I was hit and I actually wasn't. It was just really slow.
Yeah. Whenever I do it, I just AFK winter tot whenever I'm doing like the fletching or burning, and it'll it makes it sound like you've been hit.
Oh, okay.
It's a very distinct sound. And so
now there'll be a distinct animation.
Yeah, I guess so. They also made it so the gray, teal, yellow, purple, and red boots are no longer members-only items for consistency with the gloves.
Only the elitist of the elite can wear these.
Yeah, these are from the Cannabis shop. The cemetery teleport spell no longer pops up its wilderness warning when clicked unless you're actually able to cast the spell. When using a gold bar on a furnace, you will no longer need to confirm if you want to craft a gold tiara if the only mold you have is the tiara mold. And a typo has been corrected for the Empty Lord mini quest, and a graphical issue has been fixed for the 10th birthday balloons.
Awesome. So moving on to another announcement about Golden Gnomes. Just a reminder, everyone, that we are like a day away from the Golden Gnomes happening.
A single day.
A single day. So go to the RuneScape Twitch at 17 GMT, Friday, March 24th, if you want to see who wins.
1700 GMT.
1700.
Yeah. Also, even though it is a day away, it doesn't really matter.
There'll be a VOD.
You can't vote, so.
Oh, yeah, no. It's just if you want to see if you're invested in who's going to win.
Yeah, voting has been done.
Yes. I'm going to be asleep when this happens.
And the last thing is another clue from Crack the Clue.
Imagine.
Yet again, this week's hint from Wooks is for the clue obtained from a ghost. There you go.
We're never going to solve it.
No. I'm just going to look on Reddit one day and they'll be like, oh, we solved it. And we have an outfit.
83 years later.
Yeah. And for anyone wondering, it is the Zerker loadout for ranked duels.
Perfect.
All right, and moving on to the actual meat of the episode, probably going to be poll 79.
The meat of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is definitely by far the best thing that's happened in kind of a little while.
I would have called it the star of the show, is all.
The star of the show, sure.
Okay.
Call it whatever you want. Either way, a lot of big things happening in poll 79. Really exciting. I don't think, I wasn't expecting to get this until Friday or later.
I'm just glad it's here because yesterday whenever we were talking about there was nothing, I was like, they didn't even say the poll stuff for the quality of life.
Like the podcast would almost be over already.
Yeah.
It would just be like a 20-minute episode.
We would really get in on those Q&As.
But now we can stretch it out to an hour and a half. Surprise, surprise. Poll 79 is a blessing. It actually has a ton of great stuff we're going to go over. This is obviously a quality of life poll, as all the other ones were. So back in 2023's second quality of life poll, including the long-awaited points-based combat achievement system. So definitely long-awaited. Last year, we set out to get a little more consistent with our quality of life polls, with the aim of including 15 to 25 changes in each poll and hosting them every 2 months or so. Honestly, pat on the back because they have been doing that so far.
2 times so far.
2 times.
Still at the beginning of the year.
Which, to be fair, is a lot more than previously. So
True. No, they are killing it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything this time around, ranging from PVM to skilling to the wilderness. But where better to start than something you've been asking for since our last Game Jam. And for anyone that doesn't remember, the last Game Jam was in October of last year.
Wow, they have not had one in a second.
Well, yeah. I think they only have one every 6 months.
I thought it was quarterly for some reason.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so they don't have them too often. But yeah, this is something that was brought up in last October, so quite a while ago. People have been waiting since then because they did kind of, unfortunately for them, let it be known that this is something that they were considering and talking about. And people have been wondering where it was ever since. So to go on, for anyone that doesn't know what the point-based combat achievement is, here we are. Many players at the time expressed that combat achievements didn't feel rewarding enough for the amount of effort required, or that they were more than capable of completing a given tier, and tiers beyond, but didn't feel as though the rewards available made grinding for mossy keys for Briofita tasks feel worthwhile. We suggested a system similar to leagues, where players would earn points for completing various combat achievements, with higher tiered achievements offering more points. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and it's something we get asked about every single day. Ask no longer because we're ready to pull them. Our design is simple and shouldn't change anything for players who have already completed any tier in particular. We have given a few mock-up images, and they do have images and they do go through steps and stuff like that, but I'll try to simplify it as best I can because I think it would be easier. There's a lot of numbers and stuff going in here. But just so you know, they do have a breakdown of how many tasks are in each tier, and the tasks will ascend in point values. So if you do an easy task, that'll be worth 1 point. If you do a Grand Master task, that'll be worth 6 points. So like I said, it just goes up 1 value. Elite will be 4, Grand Master will be 5, and so on.
Per tier, 1 extra point per task.
Yes. So they have a example here, and it says, to put simply, unlocking rewards from the medium tier would require 115 points. This is the equivalent of completing, let's say, all 33 easies and all 41 mediums. Perhaps you can't stand the Dagonoth Kings, for example. Or you've grown fond of hill giants and couldn't possibly bring yourself to tackle Obor's combat achievements. Instead, you could earn points from higher tiers to push you up over the threshold. This means any players currently eligible for a specific reward tier will remain eligible and won't have to do anything to reobtain rewards they've already unlocked. For example, you can, if you to be as drastic as possible, if you wanted to do the easy tier of achievements, instead of doing all 33 easy achievements, you could do like 6 Grand Masters, and it would put you over into the medium tier.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you wouldn't technically have to do any easies to get into medium if all you did was the higher tier stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is ridiculous. Most people aren't going to be doing, Grandmasters before easies.
It's probably going to be more for the hard, because the hard has the nice Gomo's hilt thing where it will send you to the Godward dungeon telly.
Yeah, and also Elite and Master do have the most number of tasks tying each other at 129 tasks in each tier. And they offer 4 and 5 points per task, respectively. So there's a lot of points in those 2 tiers, and you could easily do a few elites, a few masters. Maybe you like, Vorkath and Zulrah. You'll knock out a few of those, and that'll put you up from medium into hard, or hard into elite. Mm-hmm. There is a big jump from hard into elite. For anyone wondering, you'll need 304 points for hard, but you'll need 820 points for elite.
Huge difference.
So it is a really big jump. And of course, the jumps do maintain being very large
jumping.
after that as well. Easy and medium, of course, are the two easiest. But yeah, so that's going to be how it goes. Obviously, like for anyone wondering, if you want all of Grandmaster, if you want all of the achievements done, you will have to do everything.
Sag.
This is really just for anyone that is like stuck right before finishing elite. Maybe you don't want to do all the elites because maybe doing a perfect boss that you hate kind of sounds annoying. Then maybe you could just knock out a master and then be pushed into elite.
Yeah.
And so that entire thing is poll question number 1. Should the combat achievements be reworked to a point-based system? Honestly, I don't see any negatives here.
Yeah. I like it for selfish reasons.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to like this. I'm sure someone will not, but
I like it.
Yeah, this next one I love. I'm a really big fan of this next change.
Yeah, so the next one is talking about Tithe Farm. Whether you're trying to speed up your next farming level, looking to hang up your rake for good with auto weed, which by the way I still have not done.
Oh, I did.
Or chasing the farmer's outfit, you probably set foot in the Tithe Farm at some point. If you have tried your hand at a spot of tithe farming in the past, you'll know that experience isn't entirely without frustration. Other players can disrupt your experience by planting near allotments, or you might have to leave right before you start earning points.
Yeah.
You've expressed numerous gripes over the years and we'd like to make some improvements. So first up, we'd like to let you get on with your farming in peace by making Tithe Farm into a solo instance to cut down on any potential griefing and give you all an easier time jumping in and out of your favorite farming minigame.
Massive, gigantic update.
How do you feel about that?
Gigantic.
You feel gigantic.
I feel enormous.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it is great. Honestly, I haven't had too many frustrations. Usually, if I'm playing and I know it's a busier time of the day, I'll just do the very simple 4-patch method. And, that'll take 5 runs, 4 patches each time. No one has any problems with this. Yeah, well, not actually 5 patches. Sorry. 5 runs. I think it is 5 patches.
I don't know.
Because it's 4 each. Yeah, 4 times 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 5. 5 patches.
I do it of 16 at a time. I do it like a really guaranteed they're not going to die kind of way, but it's not fast.
Yeah, okay. You could do the 16, but if you do the 20, like I think any person that's been at Tithe for a long time usually does, then that's pretty simple. But I only do that because often doing the higher, I think it's 25 method, usually gets messed up by someone else joining.
Yeah.
So the only reason I don't do the more efficient method is because of that. And also I kind of feel bad because you take up the entire middle section so no one else can go there. So this is nice.
You will vote yes on this.
Yeah, to shorten it up, this is nice.
I kind of wish, I kind of like seeing people there. I wish that was optional instance.
Yeah.
Because it is nice to not feel alone in that miserable farm.
Yeah, I wonder if it is going to be optional. But
it just says should have been made into instant solo only.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's not optional. But
yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I mean, there's more pros than cons for sure, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also this next part is amazing as well.
Yeah. So they continue on by saying, on top of that, we understand that earning no points until your 76 successful harvests can make your runs feel like a slog, especially when you only bring in 100 seeds to start with. So proposing the following changes: for every 3 plants you turn in, you'll be rewarded 1 point. For every 100 plants you turn in, you'll be rewarded an additional 2 points, and you can take it as many seeds as you like, so you don't need to leave after every 100 seeds.
That third one is huge.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that you have to.
Huge.
Which is really getting in the way of the hourly XP rates there.
Yeah,
having to go and be like, can I get more seeds?
For anyone wondering, after 100, you only get 100 before. Yeah.
You're only allowed to grab 100.
You're only allowed to grab 100. So, like I said, if you're doing the 20 seed method, you would just do that 5 times, and then you'd go turn in. You'd get a big bomb of XP around 23 to 26,000, and then you'd have to run out, get your stuff, and run back in. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So now you can just stay there forever, perpetually, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah, way better XP rates too.
Yeah, and also you're gonna get way more points.
Yeah. So it says that this means ultimately you get 35 points, which is up from the current 25 if you turn in 100 plants, while being punished much less for the odd mistake here or there, and being able to stay inside the farm longer by taking in extra seeds.
Yeah, huge.
All in all, huge quality of life update there.
Yeah, this would be amazing because you could honestly go in there and just farm until you get the outfit if you wanted to.
I'm gonna, yeah, because getting my farming outfit, I had to like stop and do it over and over again because I just couldn't stay there for too long.
Yeah.
This will make it
Also,
way more bearable.
it'll be nice seeing the XP because it can be kind of annoying from time to time, being like, oh, I feel like I'm not getting any XP, but at lower levels, it'll be like a third of a level, or
I remember I would no, at lower level I would go up several levels like every time.
I
It's kind of lit.
yeah, I think you're thinking about leagues.
No, I think I leveled.
I don't think you don't get well, maybe if you do it as soon as you unlock it, you might get multiple levels.
I think I went as soon as I unlocked it.
But yeah, after that, maybe you get 2 levels, but usually it's like even really early on it's like 75%. It's still a lot of a level.
It's a lot of XP.
I remember doing Tithe Farm in leagues, you would get like 7 levels every time you completed it.
You were loving it at leagues.
Yeah, I like Tithe Farm.
Yeah. And now you're going to like it even more.
Yeah, and I'm like it even more with the next change.
Oh, okay. So if you're looking at the above changes, wondering how on earth you'll ever be able to spend all those extra points, don't worry. We've got you covered. I forgot you're an iron.
Yeah, I also don't care about this one. It's the next one.
Yeah, okay. Just to be clear. So this is one he does not care about.
Well,
but...
it's because I haven't gotten there with herb lore.
So any wine enjoyers among you who are living, laughing, and loving Zamorak, we'd like to double the number of Beloga's blessings per point from Farmer Gristler's reward shop.
It's Gristlers?
Grickler.
Oh,
what
wow.
do you say?
I call him Grickler. I don't know. I mean, it's Grico. It's a made-up name.
I know, but Grickler sounds sillier than Gristler.
Usually I'll break it up and be like Grycaller.
I like all of these.
Yeah.
Currently, as players level their farming and increase their yield, they end up needing more of Beloga's blessings for each grape seed, meaning they'd have to spend even more time inside Tithe Farm if they're looking to stock up on Zamorak's grapes. We have the proposed change might be of help to any of you trying to stock up on this delightfully devilish wine.
Yeah, that's nice for anyone that, obviously Zamorak
You'll probably get there eventually.
Yeah, Zamorak wines can be really annoying to get on Ironman, so this is nice for that, but I
didn't even know until they started talking about Tithe Farm stuff that it came from there.
Yeah, but I'm mainly really excited about this next one because this is something I even suggested.
This is pretty good. So for our next and final Tithe Farm trick, we'd like to add herb boxes, similar to those you might find at the Nightmare Zone, to Farmer Grickler's reward shop. We've seen requests for this over the years, including on the Bunebape podcast, to add some extra long-term incentive to the minigame. Since Iron players can't buy the Nightmare Zone versions of these, we've opted to include an Iron-only poll question to figure out if this would be a welcome addition.
Huge.
Are you going to log in to vote on this one?
Gigantic.
You should vote on it just in case.
Maybe. I mean, it should pass.
It should pass. Can I also say I still think it's dumb that it's not a Nightmare Zone?
Yeah, that is dumb.
I get it because it's like AFKable, but who cares if you're AFKing for like 15 boxes a day?
Yeah, it's 10, and it was an anti-botting thing.
I just rolled my eyes. You guys could all probably hear it, honestly.
I think it's 10, right?
Punishing the irons for that. I haven't bought it in a long time.
Yeah, I thought it was 10.
I think this is really smart too because a lot of people go like how I want to go at Tithe Farm, where you go get the green log and then you're out and never come back. And this will keep people coming back.
Yeah, I would definitely go back.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to do this, in my opinion. It's a lot easier to do this and like get just grind out a bunch of points and then just go back continually and get free herbs instead of having to like sit there and like, well, obviously besides farming, like kill chaos druids a million times or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, this will be nice. It'll be a free easy 10 Renar every day or whatever.
Yeah, so that is 5 questions total, just asking all the different things if they should be added, including the beloved herb boxes that you should probably log in to vote for that.
Yeah, it's nice. Because, there's every other minigame has something like that. Mm-hmm. MLM has gem bags. Even shooting stars have gem bags. Everything has something that'll make it
They'll have their little money maker, kind of.
The only thing here that you can go forever is grape seeds.
And that's if you want to do grapes.
Yeah.
Which, meh.
So, yeah, thank goodness.
But anyway, that's enough rest and relaxation for now. Back to some more PVM-centric changes. We've got loads to get through, so we'll start rattling them off a little quicker from here on out. Are they trying to rush us on our podcast right now?
I think so.
That was rude.
But also, this will be very exciting for players as well. This will be, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of really good stuff in this poll.
Praying to RNGesus and he's just not answering. You're in luck.
So for anyone that isn't too familiar with Fasani's Nightmare, There is an item that drops. This will save you quite a bit of running. So they say
If
that
you've gotten to Fasani's, it is in the middle of
it's
forever away.
It's in the middle of sleep, which is on the far side of the Darkmire Castle.
It's
so the only way to
annoying.
get there is either by running very far south in Mauritania, or taking a boat and still running very far north.
You're running no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could take the teleport to Darkmire, but either way you're running.
It's still really deep in the building.
Either way you're running. So they say here, Fasani's Nightmare can be a pretty draining boss on its own. High intensity and long fight duration. On top of that fight itself, the run there is great if you're looking to get your 10,000 steps for the day, but less great if you're trying to chase a rare. The Sleepy Tablet is a 1 in 100 drop that adds a nearby teleport option to Draken's Medallion, and is a huge quality of life improvement for anybody looking to spend a lot of time at the Nightmare. But going dry on this particular item can be pretty disheartening. So they're adding it with a similar mechanic to Vorkat's Head. On the 100th kill count, you will certainly get this Sleepy Tablet.
I love pity drops like this.
And for anyone that has already gotten 100 KC and not gotten lucky, on your next kill, it'll be guaranteed.
This is huge, because obviously 1 out of 100 is not too bad. People go crazy dry in this game.
Yeah, it is. It's 1 out of 100, which doesn't seem that bad. This boss fight is long.
Mm-hmm.
This boss fight is very long. It is faster than the original Nightmare, which is like 11 minutes.
Oh, wow. More. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I haven't been in a second.
The regular Nightmare, if you're soloing it, is very long. So Fasani's is much faster.
And if you're learning, probably lots of tellies over.
But yeah, this will save you many, many hours if you've gotten unlucky.
I actually love stuff like pity drops like that, how people call them. I'm fine with that.
Sure.
Because it's just, because there's probably somebody who's probably gone like several hundred and hasn't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
Surely.
This next one is also really nice as well.
Yeah.
So this next one is for demonic gorillas, everyone's favorite little demons. So these twisted simians were added to Old School alongside Monkey Madness 2, and have become a staple for the Zenite shard drop, of course.
You're going to have to go to those someday.
Yeah, I will. We'd like to modernize them a bit and add a visual indicator for when they swap their attack styles. Similar to Hunlif or the Alchemical Hydra. Obviously, for anyone that doesn't remember back in the day, before they made them nice.
Before I went to them.
Yeah, Hunlif didn't have a little indicator saying that it switched styles.
Yeah, and people said that Hydra was just a counting simulator.
Yeah.
Because you just have to count and tell you they're going to do it.
So is Hunlif double so, because you have to count 3s and 7s at Hunlif.
Ew.
Or is it 3s and 4s? I haven't been in a while.
I haven't been enough.
Either way, you have to count for a lot. I think it might be 3s and 4s. Either way. Yeah, so you have to count a lot at Hunlif, but they made it so you have to count 1 less by adding an indicator for any time they're swapped or their style swapped. And they're giving this treatment to the monkeys that we so love. Additionally, we'd make a small change that resets their HP if they've been damaged and left alone for a short while, which should alleviate some frustrations being attacked by demonics who don't provide any loot when killed.
Yeah, they also do add that the indicator's not going to exactly tell you which style they're switching to. It's just going to be like, yeah, it's switching to something, get ready.
Yeah, if you have any experience at Hunlif, it'll be exactly like that. Just it'll make like a little weird, visual thing so that you know that you should be looking out. So
weird that you keep talking about Hunlif though.
Yeah, it is weird that I keep talking about Hunlif. 1, because I have the most experience with them, but also they are also getting an update.
Yes.
So Hunlif is also, of course, a receiver of that update. So it will, of course, make it so that you get a little notification whenever it switches styles.
That's an old update.
That's an old update. This one, they're making it even better.
Okay.
So it says 2-1 mage.
That's a plugin, I guess. That
is a plugin.
Can I tell you that I didn't know that was a plugin, and I remember watching Vestilla like last year when she was doing CG, and I thought it was like Alfie narrating for her to help, and I was like, I didn't know he had that kind of accent.
No, for anyone that isn't familiar, one of the most popular plugins for CG or just Gauntlet in general is going to be the one made by an Australian creator.
Do you know who it is? I don't know who it is.
I don't know who it is, but they have created an add-on so that every 1, 2, 3, it tells you which to switch to, which style to pray against.
Seems like it's probably really nice when you're learning.
Yeah, it is very nice. And of course, it's an Australian. That's why they even say here, we'll aim for something a little more old school than an Aussie voiceover, but no hard feelings if you like to stick to what you know.
Wait, we
So
totally just accidentally skipped what the actual update is.
no, I didn't. I was
Okay.
I was gonna go back.
Moving on to the next one.
So for anyone that needs further clarification, they're making it so that the crystalline and the corrupted Hunlif are also enemies that like to keep you on your toes by changing their attack style. While they already have a visual indicator, like we just said the demonics are getting, we'd like to add a small audio cue whenever they are switching styles. So just a little bit more of a heads
That
up.
just seems obvious to me.
Yeah, making it a little bit easier for people struggling with Hunlif. Obviously a very stressful boss fight for anyone that's familiar with it.
Yeah. Especially like I do listen to audio cues all the time. Like whenever I'm doing TOA, that's how I tell what the wardens are gonna use in phase 2. I've gotten so used to it that I'll like kind of read chat and I'm able to switch my prayer and pray correctly because I know now.
Yeah.
Audio indicators are huge.
Yeah.
What I think is kind of annoying though is that they're not adding audio indicators also to like they're not pulling that also for the gorillas.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be something that they do like in a few months anyway.
Maybe.
It might as well be like, if this passes, should we also add an audio cue?
The gorillas are already pretty easy as it is. It just would help you take a little bit less damage with the irregular indicator, but I see what you mean.
Yeah, I just like audio cues.
Yeah. This next one's a pretty big update for Iron Man.
Yeah, so as part of Pulse 78, we improved the viability of farming Cave Nightshade, since picking them up off the ground to make Poison Dynamite wasn't exactly the most riveting gameplay.
Side note, it is still the best way to get it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Blue Dragon scales are an herbal or secondary ingredient primarily obtained by picking them up off the ground, meaning we've seen renewed requests for an alternate means of obtaining them to help players stock up on anti-fire potions. We'd like to make them obtainable through combat, giving you the ability to simply take the scales from various dragons. After all, they won't be needing them anymore. Ominous, because you murdered them.
Yeah.
We're aiming to avoid having them come from interacting with Dragon and Blue.
With Dragon Blue.
With Blue Dragon hide, due to the volume of the hide already in game. There are a few types of blue dragons in the game, ranging from pretty weak to fearsomely strong. So here are how they want the scales to scale. Hey, get it?
Wow.
Get it? So baby blue dragons, they'll have a 50% chance to drop 1 blue dragon scale. Adult blue dragons, they'll drop 2 noted scales. Brutal blues will drop 3 noted. And Vorkath is going to drop 5 noted blue dragon scales.
Yeah, so expect the dragon scale market to turn into literal dust overnight. But I mean,
people are still lazy.
There's a lot of people doing Vorkath.
That's true. I just never was that into it.
And it's noted, so
fair.
Yeah, so I think that this is a really good change for Iron Man. Like I said, this will decimate the market. The market will not exist.
You could literally just go and pick it up off the ground, right?
Yeah,
it's so boring.
I think it's cool because it's kind of like the Nightshade thing where technically doing the old reliable boring way is faster. Like it'll just be straight up faster to go through and pick up like 10 of them, swap worlds, you know.
But wouldn't you rather be fighting undead dragons?
Yeah, but this will be nice because one, you get it while doing other stuff. So you could be doing Slayer, doing Vorkath, whatever, and also getting them. And what's really big is that they're noted. I think that's really, really big because they do take up a lot of space.
Definitely.
But yeah. Unfortunate that this is, I don't know how they would do it, but this is going to absolutely destroy the market for these. So this is kind of like a really low level moneymaker that can be bought and stuff like that. But now it's just going to be nothing. Like this will be worth like pennies.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, these are going to drop in addition to normal loot as well.
So moving on into some wilderness updates, some really nice wilderness updates in my opinion. So
people who don't go to the wilderness.
Yeah, but I do actually participate in Slayer.
Ooh.
So the Revenant Slayer task extension is being pulled this time around. Since the loot changes of Revenants alongside the wilderness boss rework, they've become a pretty appealing wilderness Slayer task. I mean, they kind of always have been.
I feel like I've seen people talking about it more on Twitter now than before, though.
Absolutely. So they say that we've seen a lot of requests for task extensions, similar to the likes of Necreals or Dust Devils, and we'd like to offer one as part of this poll. For the low price of 100 Slayer points, Crystalia would assign you between 100 and 150 Revenants, a healthy step up from the current 40 to 100. So if you're looking to obtain some more elusive weapon drops, just looking for a particular rewarding task, now you have the option to increase.
By such a big amount, too.
A very, very large amount.
That's pretty huge. That's a good one.
It's more than double, so it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. I really like Cresselia. I still think
You go to her sometimes, right?
very, very rarely, honestly,
Okay.
especially on my Iron Man, not really. But she is really cool. I still think I hope to see very soon that they add a block list just
Yes.
for the
We talk
wilderness.
about these ideas. I need to actually like tweet at people and say ideas.
Oh,
But I don't.
this is already a really
That's the thing people like, right?
there's already a really
Okay,
big movement
cool.
of this on Reddit. A lot of people
Okay,
really
good.
want to see that.
But anyway, even more Wilderness Slayer tweaks. So, if you didn't know, Traveler Parchments are used to prevent players from losing their untradeable items on PvP deaths beyond level 20 Wilderness. They're added to the Wilderness Slayer Cave loot table alongside the release of LMS, where they were also obtainable for 30 points from Justine's reward shop. Since then, their cost in Justine's shop was reduced from 30 to 18 points, but their drop rate via Wilderness Slayer was never adjusted. We like to keep this one simple and have players receive 2 Traveler Parchments as a drop instead of just the one, as a little something extra for players looking to take the extra risk while completing their Slayer task.
That's pretty big. That's going to be really big for Iron Man as well.
I was thinking that I always forgot that the Traveler Parchment exists. This makes me more interested in Wilderness Slayer boss, or not just Slayer, just Wilderness bosses, and using like my Avas. I don't ever take it.
Yeah, so
because I don't want it to lose it.
Yeah, a lot of people will also use this for like Void and stuff like that.
So wait, can you only use 2 at a time? Is it what I'm reading here? That's my
No,
impression?
it's saying that whenever you get a drop from enemies in Slayer or while doing Wilderness Slayer, it'll drop twice.
Okay, so that'll make them even cheaper for everyone else.
Yes, it will make them cheaper for everyone else.
Maybe I'll finally buy some. I have no idea how much they cost. I'm just lazy.
No, I haven't bought one in forever.
I remember buying one before, and I think it was more than I expected.
Yeah, they used to be quite a few million, or not a few million, quite a few 100,000. Usually around 700,000 was the last time I bought them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. They're usually not too expensive if you are PKing for stuff, but
I don't.
Yeah, exactly. but just to like add them as an additional cost to PvP or PVM rather. But this will make it a little bit
that's
nicer.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah. Additional changes to Swamp Bark and Blood Bark armor. This is armor that you really don't see too often.
I wish that we did though, because honestly, it looks really cool.
It does look.
Anytime
very
I see
cool.
people wearing it, I'm like, "What is this? This looks really dope."
Yeah,
it's so well designed. I wish it was stronger.
Yeah, but you get a little bit of a wish. So these specialist upgrades to Split Bark armor improve the power of your Bind and Blood spells. Swamp Bark armor requires 50 magic and defense to equip, while Blood Bark armor requires 60 magic and defense to equip. Despite having higher requirements than Mystic Robes, obviously they're only at 40 magic and 20 defense, these fancy bark armors have weaker offensive magic bonuses and a higher cost, meaning that they don't see a whole lot of use, like we just said. We'd love to tweak these so that they're a little stronger than Mystic offensively. Additionally, we've seen suggestions in the past to rebalance these sets so that more of their unique buffing effects sit on the top and legs as opposed to the gloves and boots. Obviously, you want to use the stronger gloves and boots, giving players the ability to fit them around more conventional setups.
I like that.
I like this a lot.
Because I love how it looks and I want to see it look cooler. Also, I don't like that something that was harder to wear than Mystic Robes wasn't better than Mystic Robes.
Yeah.
Because Mystic Robes are literally all I wore until I can afford Ancestral.
That's all you should wear until you get like Ancestral or like Infinity or something like that.
And I hate that. You need to have more stuff in between.
Yeah.
Next up, moving on to the permanent volcanic mine access. So Petrified Pete's seen his fair share of fresh faces since he added ore packs to his shop offerings, and he's absolutely swimming in Numalite, more than he even knows what to do with. Business is so good, in fact, that he's willing to offer you a one-time payment for entry to the volcanic mine. For a one-off payment of 3,000 Numalite, 100 times the typical entry fee, you'd be granted permanent access to the mine, similar to the permanent access option for drift net fishing.
I've never done this, so I didn't even know there was an entry fee.
I didn't know there was an entry fee, and now I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy there was an entry fee. That's obvious to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, make there a one-time thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cheap, so
yeah,
shouldn't really be a factor.
I'm not, especially as non-iron, I'm like, I could just go do that right now.
Even as an iron, that's not that much.
Not too bad to get.
No.
That's good.
And moving on to, I don't know why they put that in between the wilderness updates, but either way,
there's another wilderness.
Another wilderness change. For the looting bag. This is actually really nice, and I'm glad they're doing this, because it can be kind of annoying to get a looting bag. Obviously, there's really easy ways, just killing rats and stuff like that. But this will be even easier and more convenient for some. So we've seen a number of requests for another means of stocking up on these, or being able to reobtain them with a little more ease. We'd like to add them to the Slayer shop, similar to the Rune Pouch.
Seems obvious.
Obviously, the Rune Pouch now you can be purchased for 75 points at LMS or 750 Slayer points. Since looting bags are available for 1 last man standing point, we'd like to offer them up for 10 Slayer points.
You know what's funny? Whenever I first read this, I was like skimming through and I saw 750 Slayer points. I thought that's how much I wanted for the looting bag, and I'm like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's just loot, Chris.
Okay, we're gonna
Got
ban you.
him.
You're banned. So I'm now a solo show. But also, on top of all of the above, the looting bag is an iconic item for any Ultimate Iron player. In keeping with that, we have a couple questions specifically only for UIMs. So the next 4 questions are only for UIMs.
Yep. Our opinions do not matter, but we will go over them anyway.
Yes.
So first up is regarding spice racks. So currently, Ultimate Iron players cannot use the spice rack inside their player-owned house. Some of you have been asking us to lift this restriction, so let us know if it's something you'd like to see. Next is stash units. In a recent update, we allowed a greater range of items to count for master clue steps and to be storable in stash units. When doing so, we blocked Ultimate Iron from storing Abyssal Tentacles, Guardian Boots, and Primordial Boots, and said we'd pull this change specifically for Ultimates, as we've done for other items in the past. So this is Jagex making good on the promise and giving everyone a chance to vote on whether or not they'd like to see some of those increased options for Gilnor's least convenient storage system.
There you go. So if anyone has the abyssal tentacle, the Guardian Boots, or the Primordial Boots, and you are a UIM, now is your time to vote.
Yeah, if you want those to be stored, yes or no.
Yeah. So that is that. Moving on, we have this item, which is what we kind of referenced earlier. Now, this is a really big item for, obviously, the hardcore community. Mm-hmm. This is going to be the self-casting teleport item. This is something that's been suggested every time.
Well, it already exists. They just want to change it.
Make it useful.
So, okay, yeah, you'll read it.
Yeah. So, obviously, in 2018, we added the Escape Crystal as a consumable teleport item. Players can buy these in the Wizard's Tower or Versen Hazin for 75,000 GP. When used, players can teleport away from various dangerous activities, though some of them are only dangerous to hardcore group Ironmans.
Which, again, I hate that the hardcore group Irons have different rules than Irons.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Either way, they're great in a pinch. But in the case of the dreaded disconnect, they don't do much beyond take up an inventory slot. And we've been seeing quite a lot of that. Like I said,
we talked about at the beginning.
This suggestion comes up every time there is server issues.
I'm glad they're finally saying something about it.
So,
how many hardcores had to die for them to finally do something?
Literally, just a blood field full of people below this suggestion. We'd love to propose either a brand new item or an update to the Escape Crystal or Ring of Life that would teleport players to safety if they stop interacting with the client for a while. For example, during a disconnection where you're unable to interact with the client, you'd log back to find yourself in a safe location. In light of recent server issues, we feel this would be a welcome addition to provide some reassurance to any hardcore players among you. Here's a rundown of what we'd like to propose and hear from you on. A new item or an upgrade to the Escape Crystal or Ring of Life that teleports players after so many seconds of not interacting with the client. This teleport would trigger when simply AFK for long enough, or in cases such as disconnects. Players can customize exactly how long so many seconds is, and may wish to change it on the fly for different pieces of content. The item could be in the inventory or equipable. The item could be permanent or permitted to trigger on demand, similar to the current implementation of Escape Crystals on top of its automatic rescue service.
I didn't know it had that. I love that.
Yeah. The teleport respects standard teleport prevention restrictions. So, for example, the teleport would not be able to be triggered beyond level 30 Wilderness or while teleblock.
You're going to be immune to all the PKs.
No. We'd love to hear from you on any ideas you might have to improve the design of the particular system, so make sure to get in touch and let us know your thoughts.
Okay, so I think this in general is a good idea, but they're like, you can put how many seconds you'll be AFK before you get logged out.
Yeah.
That's good for you're doing Slayer and you're not fighting back. That's so not good for you're doing raids where it's way more deadly.
It is
it's
good.
You're clicking most of the time.
Yeah, but when you're not clicking.
But you can die in 1 second if you get stacked out.
Well, yeah, but that's something that could happen even if you were paying attention.
That's true. I
This
just
this
worry.
is to avoid you being stacked out from something that would be easily avoidable.
I'm thinking of like insanity and rage phase.
So if you think you set the timer for 2 seconds, you wouldn't get stacked out.
I mean, I guess.
I
I guess it'd be fine.
I don't.
Probably
Yeah, I
depends how
don't.
high your health is. I guess.
Yeah, one. Yeah, it depends on quite a few things. One, it's not foolproof either, and two, you could set it for as low as 1 second.
Yeah, but then you have to be clicking around every second, otherwise you'll get tellied.
Yeah, you
Which
could.
that's the kind of stressful part is that you have to keep moving, otherwise you'll get tellied too.
Yeah, yeah, you could.
I don't know. Kind of freaks me out, but I'm not hardcore.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
but I think if anything, you'd put it to like 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds, because usually you're getting, at most, usually you're getting hit every, attack cycle, which is about 4 ticks, which is 2 point so many seconds.
I think Enrage is a little bit faster.
Yeah, sure, maybe it's a
Yeah.
little bit faster, but it's every about 2 seconds,
Mhm.
maybe 3 seconds. So I think if you put it at 2 seconds that you're not attacking and not moving, then yeah, maybe. And also, I wonder, I don't know. One thing I did think would be nice to add to it is if you can just like click it to turn it on real quick. Because maybe you don't want it on all the
Oh
time.
yeah, like your AFK. I mean, they do say it's adjustable, so
Yeah,
hopefully that's
exactly.
like just a one-click thing.
Yeah, so like, because obviously you'll be able to, change it on the fly and stuff like that, which is nice. But it'd be nice if you're like, all right, I'm going into this dangerous part of the fight.
Now I need it.
Now I really want it to be active because I'm going to be moving around a lot or something like that.
That's true.
Then maybe you could just like click it and turn it on real quick.
That's cool. Okay, I'd like that.
Maybe I'm not a hardcore, but that just seems like something that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Either way, though, this is
None of my thoughts really matter. I'm not hardcore. It's just something that freaks me out.
yeah, this is obviously not perfect, but it's something to help alleviate all of the hardcore deaths.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a good addition, even if it doesn't get used that much.
Yeah. Moving on to some unpulled changes. First up is the Abyssal Lantern, which I thought was so funny because we talked about this at length last week.
Yeah, this is getting, well, it's because it's been getting more and more attention.
Yes.
Especially recently.
Oh, yeah. So, if you guys did not know, the Abyssal Lantern, it's a drop from Guardians of the Rift, but it only drops from the Guardians reward chest? What's it called?
Yeah, the reward cache.
Yeah, the reward cache. So during our initial poll for the Guardians of the Rift, we suggested the Abyssal Lantern would be a reward players could purchase with Abyssal Pearls, similar to the Remnants of the Eye. That's the outfit. However, during development, we didn't feel as though it made sense thematically to come from a shop rather than the Abyss, and we didn't want players to feel like they'd have to choose between the outfit and the Lantern. So we opted to make them a drop from the Rewards Guardian in hopes that players could work towards both goals simultaneously.
Honestly, that is the weakest excuse.
I get it. Because it seems kind of anticlimactic to be like, I'm just going to buy it with my pearls. But at the same time, I don't think they realized how dry people were going to go and how bad the complaining would get.
But even, I mean, just looking at it from every aspect, it's kind of hard to believe that they came up with that line of thinking. Like, it just seems so misplaced. Like, 3% of players voted that it should be buyable.
Really?
In the shop. Like, it was a huge percent. And then
I hate that they just bypassed that.
They're all like, "Oh, we can't fathom fitting it in thematically, aka, oh, I found this thing you might be, interested in."
Mm-hmm.
So they just removed it. Like,
that's annoying.
What? And it's not even like a 1 out of 10. It's 1 out of like 400.
700.
700? It is huge. How rare this is.
I'm pretty sure it's 700. I could be wrong. Or maybe it just took me 700 to get it.
Yeah. Either way, it is very, very rare.
Yeah. So they go...
Yeah.
So they say, in the time since, you've made it clear that this decision missed the mark, especially those of you going particularly dry on the elusive offhand. As a result, alongside other Poll 79 changes, we'll be giving players the option to purchase the Abyssal Lantern from Apprentice Felix at a cost of 1,500 Abyssal Pearls.
Yeah, that's still very expensive. Don't get me wrong. That is very expensive. You'll likely get it before then. But
people going crazy dry.
If you are going dry, you will eventually be able to buy it.
It just sucks because a lot of the people going crazy dry have probably not that much pearls from buying the outfit.
No, if you're going that dry, you probably will have enough to buy the.
You have $1 billion
to buy it. Yeah.
So this should act as a bad luck protection for players going well beyond the drop rate, while still affording you the opportunity to get lucky and obtain the Abyssal Lantern as a drop when looting the Rewards Guardian.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of bad luck protection in games. And
We've
so,
talked about that before a lot, how we both
yeah.
like it.
I've even thought of like systems for like getting unique drops from bosses via bad luck protection. Like this is totally something random that I spent very little time thinking of. So it's definitely not going to be the best idea, but I was thinking like maybe it would be like a system where like like you collect trophies from bosses, and if you think it's worthwhile to you to collect the trophy from the boss, and after you collect so many trophies, then you can use them up to like pay someone that's like a big game hunter, and they would have one of the rare items from the boss.
Thing, kind of a dark storyline. A
Well,
big game. I mean, we're kind of the big game hunters, aren't
yeah,
we?
exactly. So it's like if you kill Bandos, you know, it would be an absurd amount. Like
Yeah, of
if you
course.
had like 1,000 of his trophies,
I'm
then
always a huge fan of bad luck protection because that's like low key gonna be me with Tangle Root.
yeah, then I think it'd be cool if they gave you an item off of their rare drop table that you haven't received yet, but you can't select which one.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that it's like, all right, you haven't gotten the Bandos boots in 1,000, and you haven't gotten the Bandos blade in 1,000, like, or the hilt. It's like one sucks, one's good. You want the good one, but you can't select it. You just have spent all this time there,
You're
and
getting something new, regardless.
so it's still RNG based, but it'd be like bad luck protection in a way. Because seeing people go like 10,000 dry for something is like, it's like, all right, this is not
very demoralizing.
This is not fun anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like after 600, it's like, oh, I'm going dry. Maybe I'll get it soon. But after like 1,000 or 2,000,
It
you're
starts
like,
to get really dark.
you're like, man, this sucks. Like, why am I logging in?
And it's unfortunate because they obviously keep going because at that point you're like, surely the next kill.
Yeah,
But it can go on for several thousand.
They even have more conversations about bad luck protection later.
But I have thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyways, moving on to the next thing, we're going to be talking about Laren's keys. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is the key that drops from Wilderness Slayer.
Why did they hop around again before getting back to the wilderness?
I don't know. But either way, this is also an unpulled change, of course. Any monsters killed while on Chrysilia's Slayer task has a chance to drop a Laren's key, which can be used to roll the Laren's small and big chest for extra loot. While the keys aren't tradable, they are dropped to whoever killed you upon PvP death. This is a pretty big thing to know.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning some players have taken to, quote unquote, selling their keys by accepting GP and allowing the player to kill them for a stack of keys.
Oh, me with bounty hunting before?
Yeah.
I made my first mill.
This effectively makes them tradable with an extra step, and that extra step leaves players vulnerable to scammers and swindlers. As a result, instead of making them disappear on death, which is what I would initially think to do right away.
Yeah.
They're making them tradable.
Oh.
So this means that Wilderness Slayer could just sell off all their keys for a little bit of quick profit if they don't want to make the trek out to get the Laren's big chest.
I guess it's similar to like the enhanced crystal the enhanced crystal key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say that we're not pulling this one since its primary intent is to combat scamming, but we're open to any feedback you might have in case there's issues with this change we might not have foreseen.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't really hate it, but I really don't like it.
I get it, but I don't know what the alternative would have been.
Exactly what I said, and just have them disappear on death.
But I don't... but you want it to be rewarding for the people killing you.
Okay, drop GP for it.
That's true, yeah. Give it a high alc value and drop gold.
It has. I'm pretty sure it has a high alc value.
Give it a better one. It probably isn't great.
I mean, either way.
But I mean, this is unpulled, so this is already happening.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's an interesting one.
I don't know. I feel like there's many other options than conceding to scammers. Like,
fair.
That's literally what you're doing. All right.
Next up is Nex. Cough. A word that strikes fear into the heart of anybody with much experience at the Zerosian God Wars General. Since Nex's release last year, we've seen a number of complaints about people griefing Nex masses by intentionally spreading the infection, resulting in a cough cacophony. To cut down this griefing, whether intentional or by players trying to secure the I should see a doctor combat achievement, we'd like to upgrade the face mask and Slayer helmet to prevent the cough spreading to you from other players while worn. This would be in addition to its existing effect, where the frequency of your coughs is reduced while worn.
This is actually a really nice change.
I think this makes a lot of sense, really.
Because this will make it just so if you're doing this in mass, you're probably going to use this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not to say the people in mass are bad, but they're not very good.
The people in mass are me who don't want to look it up and are following everyone around the room spraying the cough in accident.
Yeah, because obviously if you stack up and one of you gets cough, everyone gets cough, and everyone stacks up because they don't know what to do. So,
Yeah.
So this is actually really
That's
nice.
Great. Yeah, I'll definitely be wearing that next time I go to Next.
Yeah. And finally, we have the Zealot's robes. These are actually pretty rare. Most people don't know what these are, but these are...
I was just talking about this in stream the other day because someone was grinding for them.
Yeah, these aren't really common. So these are items that are rewards from looting gold chests in the Shade Catacombs as part of the Shades of Morton minigame. Each piece provides a 1.25% chance to prevent bones or unsold heads from being consumed while you're training prayer. So pretty nice. We'd like to extend this effect to work on the Ectofuntus to give you a chance to save your bone meal while making your offerings, ideally without any controversy about the etymology of the word Ectofuntus. How do you say it?
Ectofuntus. I think I say functus sometimes. Yeah.
A lot of people say functus.
I have an extra C. It's funky.
It's because it's actually spelled several ways in the game.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Or at least it's certainly spelled several ways in the wiki.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess technically it's ectofuntus instead of ectofunctus.
That's not very fun of them. I say functus.
Either way, that's a wrap on Poll 79's Unpolled Changes. But stick with us because we've got one more question and 3 things we'd love to get you talking about so we can see your feedback.
Yes. So the first thing is skilling pets. I'm actually so sad because I thought this was going to be what I really want. What I want is guaranteed skilling pets at 200 mil XP. That's not what this is. I really thought that's where they're going there. It was so unfortunate.
No, but this is kind of like a what do we call it? Fail protection.
Kind of bad luck protection.
Bad luck protection, yeah.
So the first discussion point, it's focused on what exactly is a skilling pet in your collective eyes. That sounds weird. It's probably because it is, but hear us out. So for those of you not in the know, if you're astronomically unlucky and reach 200 million XP in a skill with an associated pet, the drop rate of that pet will be increased by a factor of 15. For example, if you've hit 200 mil XP in woodcutting without receiving a beaver, you'll be 15 times more likely to be a beaver receiver whenever you chop trees in the future. Still think it's really dumb in that you could still go mega dry because it's just RNG.
It is.
Just guarantee it.
That's all it is.
Anyway, understandably, this impacts a relatively few number of players, but we've seen some calls recently for the Phoenix pet, which has obtained a winter tot, to be given the same drop chance increase for players with over 200 million fireman XP. So this brings us to our final poll question and opens up a wider discussion. Should the drop rate of the Phoenix pet be increased 15 times for players with 200 million fire-making XP, similar to the drop rate for other skilling pets?
So, I know what I want to say, and I surprisingly don't think it'll be that crazy of a thought process for old schoolers.
Well, let me read it a little bit more, and then I'll get your answer.
Sure.
So they say, we're interested in this because it could be argued that this sets a precedent. Do you consider the Phoenix to be the fire-making pet, even though it's technically the winter top pet? We believe a lot of players do, and that this opens up a wider discussion about the potential for pets and skills that wouldn't typically receive a pet to be added via slightly less conventional means. For example, could Gnome Delivery reward a pet that feels like a cooking pet? Or perhaps you could obtain a smithing adjacent follower from Giant's Foundry. I mean, I love pets, so... We want to work with you and understand whether or not pets like these are something you'd be interested in. And if so, what kind of locations, activities do you feel represent various skills without a current pet? We're not looking to force pets into skills if you don't feel as though they're strong fits, but we're looking to find out whether there are places you do think it makes sense for pets similar to the Phoenix that we could explore in more detail at a later date and in a future poll. So if you're interested at all in the potential for new additions to your menagerie, make sure to tell us how you feel about this topic. So we'll discuss the first one first.
Yeah.
Phoenix pet, should it be increased right after 200 mil?
No.
Oh, why?
Because it's not the fire-making pet.
Yeah. We talked about this recently, how they need to have a regular fire-making pet.
Yeah, it is as much as the fire-making pet as Tempe is the fishing pet.
So that's what I was seeing people talk about, was that if they do this, it makes no sense if they don't make Tempe and the Guardian of the Rift pet available as well.
Also, on top of that, I feel like this would somewhat limit their pet options. Because if this is the fire-making pet, they could never make the fire-making pet.
I know, and I want a fire-making pet.
Yeah, so I think no. I do think there should be some bad luck protection, but not for fire making.
Not in the same ways as for other
I think it should be like, I don't know the number, but just it'd be really easy to find the number of completions for a minigame that should then add a failsafe.
Yeah.
So like pretend it's like 10,000 completions of Wintertot. If you have 10,000, yeah.
They make it more related to your KC rather than your skill level.
Yeah. At that point, if you have
I like that,
if you
actually.
have, 10,000 Wintertot or 10,000 Temperos completions, sure. Yeah, give them, 20%, 20 times more likely. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the same to me.
I actually agree too. Usually I vote yes on pet things, but in a weird way, because like you said, it would get less pets in the future if they set this precedent.
Because like, what if they offer something from Giant's Foundry? Then there couldn't be a smithing pet.
Yeah, exactly. So mini games, pets are separate. But the thing is, we need a fire making pet. It's weird that we don't have a fire making pet.
Well, yeah, there's actually not that many skilling pets in the game.
I know, it's strange. We've talked about some of our ideas before. I remember we
Yeah.
had some good ones.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't agree with this.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about them adding skilling pets for other skills?
I think adding them for other skills is fine, but
in regards to mini games or just
again,
skilling?
they're separate to me. Like for the
Yes.
gnome thing, the gnome
That
delivery
would be a
thing,
mini game.
that'd be specifically a gnome thing, not a cooking
Do you
pet.
think there should be something while you're just cooking?
Yeah, but also, I mean, yes, but I've been really critical of RuneScape 3's pets because I think they're really lame.
I think that they'd have to design them better.
Yeah, I think the design of them is really lazy.
I really want a little Remy the Rat wearing a chef's hat following us.
Yeah, because like the cooking pet in RS3, I'm pretty sure it's just like
It's
this
a goblin, right?
that follows you
Yeah.
around with a hat. Like
I'm sure that there's lore, maybe.
it looks
but
really, really lame.
it sounds, really random.
Yeah, I'd honestly rather just have like an egg following me around.
And an egg.
Like that sounds dumb, but it sounds better than the goblin
like
to
a
me.
partly hatched egg that has the legs
that has like the
sticking out.
legs sticking out. Not even the head, just the legs.
That'd be kind of cute.
That just sounds. Yeah,
So,
they need to work better.
Give us pets, but let us choose good pets.
Yeah, like let us vote between like a few different options because whatever you guys picked for RS3 sucked.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's a different team.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving on to slash weapons. So
Splash.
Splash. Yes, I keep reading it as slash. Even when I first read this, it is splash weapons. So definitely different. For clarity's sake, we'll be referring to splash weapons in this section. A splash weapon is a weapon that, when equipped, will guarantee 0 damage when used in combat. With both the 2022 Christmas event and Old School's 10th birthday, we've unintentionally added weapons that do this, only to remove them and say that we'd like to talk about them in the future. Well, the future is now.
Ooh.
So for anyone that is wondering, I think they added a cane that would hit for 0.
Oh, yeah.
But they took it away.
It was cool looking, too.
It was. For any of you reading, these wouldn't be particularly impactful. For the level 3 skillers among you, however, this would be a significant and seemingly welcome change. Seemingly.
You never know with the community.
You never know, especially skillers. Many level 3 skillers write Slayer off. Obviously, it's really tough to do as a skiller. Even though it's possible to train Slayer without gaining combat XP, you can expect to spend around 7,000 hours or more AFKing in the Varrock Museum.
Awful.
Slayer used to be a little more viable as a grind, especially when there was partner Slayer. That was really nice. Meaning some members of this community have been able to achieve XP rates in the past that are just simply no longer available. Without getting bogged down in the finer details at this point, a splash weapon makes Slayer a more obtainable goal for these accounts. If you ask us, a meager 1,300 hour grind for 99 Slayer seems like light work. But we've had many members of the level 3 skiller community reach out and ask us to reconsider our stance on these weapons, to give them new goals to strive for, and even unlock a handful of extra quests.
Nice.
So for anyone wondering why this is important, obviously if you hit for 0, you don't get any experience.
Combat experience.
So kind of a big deal.
Yeah. How would you even still get this layer if they're not dying? You're hitting zeros.
Like recoils.
Oh, dang, that would still take forever. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I got that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing recoils. I'm sure
Similar
there's
things to that.
maybe other ways, but yeah, you have to get them to attack you first is the main thing, and you can't do that without getting experience.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's easy enough for us to do. We'd like to hear from the skillers and wider player base to figure out exactly how you'd feel about the adjusting some of the fun weapons in old school to guarantee zeros and expand the horizons of some restricted accounts.
Perfect. And then the final discussion of this week is blood, death, and soul runes.
I like this.
So, blood rune upkeep has been the bane of any iron player tough enough to obtain uniques from the Theater of Blood ever since the release of OS's second raid. Over the years, we've seen numerous calls for some kind of adjustment that doesn't make obtaining weapons like the Scythe of Virtue or Sanguinary Staff feel like a chore. In the past, we've been apprehensive about adding things like blood rune packs to shops due to concerns about so-called shopscape or shopman mode not being the most riveting gameplay. For blood runes in particular, we aim to alleviate some of this frustration with the True Blood Altar and Blood Essence, allowing players to put their runecraft to use and to ease the upkeep of these weapons. For some rough math real quick, assuming you're using Blood Essence, wearing the Raiments of the Eye, and being pretty speedy on your True Blood Altar runs, you can craft around 10,400 blood runes per hour. These 10,400 blood runes equate to around 3 hours of use for the Scythe of Virtue, or around 2.3 hours for Sanguinary Staff. Meanwhile, we still see calls from players to make some kind of adjustment, allowing them to put these weapons to use without feeling guilty about the cost. While blood runes are the main offender here for players, we start to see calls for improved sources of soul runes now that Tumikin Shadow is happy to eat them up in exchange for immense power. Death runes also crop up from time to time, with the focus being more on the quantity of them alongside blood runes, the Iron Spy for Ice Barrage while training their Slayer, so we'd like to be able to address those too. We'd like to open this discussion up and land on a proper solution that works for all of you. We're mentioning all this now to try and gather information on the best ways to do this. In the past, we've seen a handful of common solutions that should provide a solid basis for discussion. Those being add blood and soul rune packs to shops for a high cost. If we were to do this, we'd likely add death rune packs as well, so it doesn't feel like the odd one out. Plus, you'll likely be buying a lot of these on the road to 99 Slayer as an iron, and we'd sure you appreciate fewer world hops. Improving various skilling methods further. Reducing the rate at which weapons, like the Scythe of Vidar, Sanguinary Staff, and Tumikin Shadow consume charges. Consider expensive methods to make some of these weapons permanent, similar to corrupting the Bow of Ferdinand. I kind of like that one the most.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we're not sure if there's any one right answer, or perhaps the best path forward is a combination of the above. That's what we'd like to hear from you on, in hopes of alleviating concerns that many of you have had for a long time now. So if you have strong opinions about any of these runes in particular, get in touch with us on any of the usual channels and share your thoughts with the world.
Yeah.
I personally like the buying at the shop or the corrupted version.
Yeah.
Or a combination of the two.
I personally only like one option.
Oh.
And it is the buying of them.
At the shop?
Yeah. Because it's for a few reasons. One, because as an Iron Man, you usually have extra money.
I was kind of thinking that too. You guys have a lot of gold that you don't really have too much to spend it on.
Yeah, the only thing you really spend it on is things like this.
Yes.
So it'd just give us a thing to do for that. And you could put it somewhere that's tough to get it too, like maybe Baba Yaga's shop or something like that. Mm-hmm. So then obviously you can't just buy them or something. I don't know why you would, but maybe you could abuse it some way.
Yeah.
But either way, I think that would be a good option. I think improving various skilling methods would suck because there's already plenty of ways to get a lot of these things in the game.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary.
Also, reducing the way at which the weapons consume these would, I think, be the worst because there's already very few ways that runes get consumed. I mean, look at the price of blood runes.
They've gone down.
What do you mean?
They're not as expensive as they used to be.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No, I thought you meant the opposite.
That's what I mean. I mean, they're too cheap. They're at their high alch value. And then also the last one, considering this is kind of similar to the third one. If you make them permanent, similar to corrupting a bow, then the only reason it works for the bow is because it's from the shards.
Oh, it's something untradeable.
Yeah.
Kind of untradeable.
And if you did that to the scythe, then you wouldn't need bloods anymore, which over time will make it just so there's more bloods in the game.
That's true.
I think this is gonna sound. I'd take it even a step further. I'd say you should add the packs to the shops, and this would never pass. But you should increase how many runes these items use.
I hard disagree with that one.
Well, because the only difference is you're just buying more of them for mains. That's the only difference. You're just buying more runes. It's like, we're saving money. Then
I am.
It'll just make it so that you have to be more decisive about where you use them.
You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, I mean, obviously, if you like are, in a very unique position where you just have enough money to buy a scythe and you're like, cool, now I have the scythe, I can finally start farming TOB. The first, while that you're farming is going to feel bad because you're using a lot of GP.
Yes.
But I think after a while, you've been playing the game for a while and you have excess in money or runes,
you probably get some bigger drops.
then it won't matter. And I think it would be better for the rune economy specifically.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know because that'll never happen.
But anyway, that is it for the Poll 79 blog. It had 22 questions, 4 unpolled changes, and 3 wide discussions. So actually quite a bit.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I think this is one of the best quality of life polls they've ever had.
Really?
As long as I've been playing.
Oh, nice. Okay. I mean, I still like the ones with all the Skatiza stuff the most.
Yeah, I guess so. I think this one affects me more than any of the other ones.
Because there's a lot of like iron things in this one.
Yeah, a lot of iron things, a lot of just like actual quality of life stuff that people have been really vocal about recently. So it seems like they're actually paying attention, which is nice.
Yeah, but with that, we can move on to our Q&A.
Yep.
Our first question this week is going to be from Matt over on Instagram. If any book or movie were to be RuneScapified, that's to say, if it had a leveling system, quest system, etc., what would you want to be? In my opinion, Avatar: The Last Airbender would be awesome. You would have 4 principal combat skills: firebending, waterbending, earthbending, and airbending. Many non-combat similar to RuneScape, and tons of monsters in Quest. One skill that would have to be present, however, is sailing.
Okay.
I love this just because I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
It would be fun.
I think that'd be cool.
Instead of just like magic being the style of combat, having like different styles, different kind of bending. I think sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool.
Do you have yours ready?
Yeah.
What is it?
Easily. It's my favorite book. It's Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson.
I still need to read that.
Yeah.
He hyped it up a lot. Apparently it's pretty good.
It is my favorite book. It is not even remotely close. It is a high fantasy book, so if you don't like high fantasy fiction, then you will not like it even a little bit.
If you like RuneScape, you probably like fantasy, to be fair, though.
RuneScape is very low fantasy, if anything.
Fair.
But yeah, so it is a high fantasy book, and it has some really well thought out systems in it already, and I think it would transfer very well. And it already has like gods and stuff like that in it. It's a really, really good book. I think it'd be really cool. It has systems where like the more to put it simply, like things that are more colorful are more powerful.
Yeah.
In the book. So things that have been like, drained of their color are less powerful. So it's kind of cool, and you can steal people's color.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I need to read this book.
It's a very, very, very good book, and I think it would work really well in this. It even would have the ability for sailing.
Yeah, and it's like the medieval vibes too.
It is very medieval vibes. It's swords and stuff like that.
Yeah. My answer is so less creative, but it just seems like it'd be so fun.
Okay.
What do you think it is? You're smiling.
I have no idea. I know it's going to be dumb.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay. All right, so it's just RuneScape again.
I mean, I was thinking...
Imagine RuneScape with elves. Oh, wait. Imagine RuneScape with dwarves. Oh, wait.
Just think about how cool the quest would be. How cool the quest would be.
And mages? Oh, my goodness.
I just think that the quest would be really cool.
Imagine if Dumbledore was the...
Gandalf, you mean?
a wizard. No, Dumbledore.
Stupid. I know it's basically already RuneScape, but I'd love to see the quest in game, because I was imagining if they did like a collab situation, had NPCs in from Lord of the Rings in the game.
There's this really good movie called Knight's Tale. I think that'd be a good conversion, because they have knights in it too, and lords and ladies. No magic though.
I'm just trying to think of stuff that's medieval that'd be fun.
Oh.
Yeah, because I can't imagine myself anything modernish that would be able to like combine with RuneScape.
Yeah.
I can't picture it. I mean, what, Doctor Who? I mean, honestly, like space. Space could be cool in RuneScape.
Okay.
Okay, well now you've made me want Doctor Who. Are you happy?
We're going with Lord of the Rings. Which movie in particular?
I don't know. I haven't seen them forever.
Yikes. So she's not going to pick the good one.
No, I'm going to pick the last one because that's where all the drama is.
That is one of the best ones.
Yeah,
so
and that would be more exciting quest.
Yeah. Man, it'd be crazy if there was goblins. Oh.
You're literally a bully. What if there was orcs?
What if there's
Ents?
Oh my goodness.
Surely there is something Lord of the Rings that's not in here already.
Striking similarities.
Surely. Anyway, it's not the most creative answer, but it's
Yeah.
that or Doctor Who, which is time traveling.
Okay. That was good.
All my answers are just based on Quest. I think it would be fun Quest.
Okay.
Anyway, this next question is going to be from Harger on Discord. So a question I've had since the beginning of time almost. How can Jagex inspire players to go to NPC stores instead of the GE, and why would you want that? I personally find it kind of dumb that hundreds of NPC stores exist, but basically are never used. General stores, armor stores, badge shops, etc. Someone actually responded to Harger saying Iron Man.
Yeah.
A one word. But Harger continued, in my opinion, it'd be cool if shops were like mini GEs. You could sell your products there for standard market value, but often make more than if selling to the GE because the bankers at the GE charge for their services. I mean, they do already charge taxes.
Yeah, this is kind of an easy fix, but it would be kind of impossible because no one would want this.
But anyway, so the store owners will buy your products for the market price and relist them for sale, but take a smaller fee since they only buy products they specialize in. Example, you sell 10 Chaos Runes, GE for $7.80, 3% listing price, Aubrey's Rune Shop for $7.80, 1% listing fee. Also, loyalty discounts for both buying and selling are given. The more items you buy, sell a particular shop, the lower the fees are and the more coupons you get.
Yeah.
I like this, but my idea, I mean, mine wasn't even much of an idea. It was kind of related to the notes this week, was them talking about selling like blood and death rune packs. Just like little things like that scattered throughout the game, I think, would make people use the shops more.
But that's only for runes.
No, I'm saying like stuff inspired like that, you know,
okay.
Just like stuff that you have to go and buy from NPCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stuff that, I mean, it's like, I don't know how it would work. It would be tradable in a way, but not at the GE.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could work. Or maybe like you get kind of like a combination of Hargers is like a little combo deal if you go and buy a lot of it at a shop.
Yeah. So this would kind of be easy. One thing that I think would be good is this is almost entirely separately from this, but I think they should remove the GE. And
okay, iron.
No, not the functionality of the GE. I think they should remove the GE as a location because I think they should have miniature GEs, kind of like what Harriger said. Where,
yeah, I was thinking it's like the...
Or like if you went to the rune shop in Varrock, there you could buy all of the runes that they would normally sell, but for people that listed it.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of like they'd have to separate the game like with the coding more into regions and like be like, this is what was sold here, so this is what you could buy here.
Yeah, so you could go and one that would spread out the people just bank standing, and that
it would
just
keep people traveling around too, being like, oh, there's not enough runes here. I need to go hop
or they're
around.
like, oh, you know, I want a bunch of plate bodies. You would go to the guy that sells plate bodies across from the Fletcher in Varrock.
I think that's a good idea actually.
So one that's just entirely separately though. That wouldn't really help with this solution. But two, I was going to say something along what Harger said, but even more so.
Oh.
So I was going to say that you keep the, the taxes or whatever, but the thing is you'd have scaling taxes.
Okay.
So obviously you have that in the shops already. So the more you buy from shops, the more expensive it gets. And I think the more people would buy things in bulk from the GE, you would get taxed more heavily.
Oh, so then people will be like, oh, I really don't want to use the GE.
Yeah, like maybe it goes up. Maybe it goes up to like a really high percent, like 15 or 20%. If you
definitely want to go somewhere else.
If you buy like a lot, like if you buy like several thousand arrows, like that's.
It sucks because there's still people who are really lazy, like me. Sometimes probably that would still be like, oh, just take the L.
No, absolutely. That's what we would rely on. Is one, it would remove GP from the game. And it would give people that
be a gold sink and an incentive to go other places.
Exactly. Like if you really want to save money, then you could, and you don't even have to go to another place. If it was like my original idea, like if you went to go buy plate bodies, you could like either talk to the assistant, because every shop has an assistant for some reason. You could talk to the assistant, and he sells the base shop items, and they'd have to increase the stock, obviously.
Yeah.
So like maybe there's 100 plate bodies in stock or something, or 200 plate bodies, whatever. And that one would obviously increase in value. So eventually it would be worth more to you to just buy it off of the warehouse if they're cheap enough, off of the like auction house, GE if they're cheap enough.
That's nice. I like that.
It would make it so that it's feasible to buy the first, If you're just buying like 50 of something, then you can buy it from the shop and it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
And you would still be taxed, and that money would just be disappeared. But if you wanted to buy like 1,000 of something or 10,000 of something, then you'd get taxed like as much as you're allowed to be taxed. Because then, obviously, that would give you a simple option, but you'd
go somewhere else.
You'd be paying for that simple option.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one.
I think that'd be cool. But like I said, I don't think it would pass because it would be a lot of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that would just remove so much GP from the game. It would be, and again, like I said, it would solve pretty much everything. But obviously, people would not like people would have less money, so they wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, true.
So,
but in general, it is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is actually it for us this week.
That is it.
If you guys want to ask any questions of your own, you can on any of our social media. Our Twitter and TikTok are both Bunebapeosrs. Our Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch are all Bunebape. I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. So come stop by. Come join me for some raids. Ask us questions.
Yeah, make sure to check it out. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Thanks for listening this time around, and we'll see you all
very soon. Bye-bye. Beep.
Beep.